Good evening and welcome to Gay Liberation Network's CAN TV call-in show. It's a live call-in show, and this evening we're going to be talking about the Chicago Milk Week of Action, honoring Harvey Milk and talking about various direct action efforts that you can do here in Chicago to bring equality to LGBT folk. Gay Liberation Network is a Chicago-based organization focused on direct action around all issues of people's rights, particularly focused on the LGBTQI communities, but also touching on immigration rights and many other direct action needs of our day. Tonight with us here is Anthony Martinez of LGBT Change, and you can check out LGBT Change on the web at www.lgbtchange.org. Anthony, tell us a little bit about the mission of LGBT Change.
LGBT Change, we seek to bridge communities within the LGBT community as well as our allies. And we try to, through, advocacy, educational programming, and direct action as well, try to bring many different ideologies and ways of going about getting equality for the LGBT community. We try to bring all those voices together to help, really pull the movement together and hopefully move forward with a unified group of people. So that's kind of our mission.
Thanks. So we have put together with a variety of organizations in Chicago a week of actions that are focused on bringing full federal equality to lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgendered, questioning, intersex folks in this country. And it's been done with a variety of organizations here in Chicago, and we're focused on this week, Harvey Milk Week, in honor of a seminal person in LGBT history. So we want to take a minute and talk about Harvey Milk and who he is and why his name is used here. Anthony, why Harvey Milk? Give us, tell us a little bit about him.
Harvey was one of the first openly elected gay officials in the United States. He actually grew up in New York and moved out to California in 1972, and kind of became an activist immediately moving to San Francisco. He started pulling the community together and boycotting businesses in the Castro district of San Francisco that didn't support gay or LGBT folks. So then, about a year later, he decided that the only way that we could advance the LGBT community was to actually do it through legislation. So he started running to be a supervisor of San Francisco. And he ran in 1973, again in 1975, and both times he lost. And then he ran again in 1977 and actually won that election and was the first gay supervisor of San Francisco. And then after that, he went to work, was really heavily involved in a lot of advocacy work on behalf of the LGBT community as well as senior citizens. He was really any minority group. He was very, strident in making sure that he's able to address their needs and make San Francisco a better place for them. So he went about doing that work, and then in 1978, a year after he was elected, he was shot by one of the other supervisors that had just been fired, as well as the mayor. They were both shot in the same evening. So that was a huge blow to our community. And then, Dan White, I believe his name was. Mm-hmm. And then he went on trial and got away with the murder. A lot of people think through the Twinkie defense, or saying that his lawyer said that because he was on junk food, he kind of went insane and shot Harvey. Right. Which of course sparked a riot that the next evening, I believe, and it was the White Night riot in San Francisco. So,
because similar to to the King riots in L.A. Back in the 90s, it's just amazing that you can have a person assassinated, in this case because it was a public official, and have no, or very weak, very weak compensation, or very weak charges filed against this this individual, Dan White, that murdered him. And potentially that was homophobia, potentially it was fast food that caused it and he was crazy.
Could be. I have a feeling it was homophobia, but also because he had murdered the mayor as well. So it was it was just really fascinating that, he must have had a really amazing lawyer.
Right. Harvey Milk also did. There were some other things with Anita Bryant was a big figure in those times, and brought legions out across the country with her efforts to basically keep lesbians and gays in particular from teaching jobs, and the concern that LGBT people were going to ruin our country's children. And I believe one of the first places that took some legislative role was in California, with the Knight Amendment. And I think correct. I've got my details correctly here. And Harvey did a marvelous job of defeating this horrific amendment that would have said that no person who identifies as homosexual can be a teacher in a school system, and they got it stopped. So
he was an amazing organizer. He also did the boycott of Coors, the first successful boycott by a minority group of a brand that was world known. So that was pretty amazing. And to this day, if you go into a gay bar, you won't see Coors being served because of their anti gay and lesbian stance back then, and even now we still are still boycotting them.
Yes, yeah. The Coors family has not been an ally of the LGBT community.
No, they have not.
We want to remind people that this is a live call-in show, and you are invited to call and make your comments and share any recollections of Harvey Milk, as well as we're going to be getting into some of the events that are coming up here. 312-738-1060, the number on your screen. So the topic of the show is the Harvey Milk Week of Action here in Chicago and nationwide. There are events going all over the country, particularly organized through a website, Equality Across America. You can get more information on all of this at Gay Liberation Network's website, www.gayliberation.net, and we encourage you to do that. We're going to dive into the full bevy of events that are coming up over the next few days. Anthony just mentioned to me before the show that there's a new development, and so we'll start out with that one.
It was actually, we just found out about this. It's the Great Global Kiss-In. It's in association with the International Day Against Homophobia, which we'll also talk about. And we have an event here in Chicago. It's an international event. There's cities organizing all over the world for this. And tomorrow, Saturday, there'll be a Kiss-In event here in Chicago in front of the Bean in Millennium Park, the sculpture called Cloud Gate. And it's at 3 p.m. So meet us in Millennium Park and get your kiss on, I guess.
So that will be fun. And Monday, May 17th, is International Day Against Homophobia. And 5:30 p.m. also in Millennium Park, specifically at the corner of Monroe Street and Michigan Avenue. We will be calling attention to the attacks in Africa, both legislative in Uganda, as well as these pogroms and riots that have occurred in Kenya, and judicial attacks in Malawi. So all of that will be the subject of our protest out there as an educational event. Please meet us at 5:30 or earlier if you can, Monroe Street in Michigan. Why don't you take the next one, Anthony?
Yeah, absolutely. And then after the educational event there, we'll be doing a screening of Fish Out of Water. It begins at 7 p.m. It's at All Saints Episcopal Church. And the film is a documentary that explores this one woman, Kai Dickens, the director and creator of the film. She came out to her sorority sisters in college, and this is kind of a way of responding to their negative attacks on her. She was at Vanderbilt, which is a Christian college, so this really explores homosexuality and religion, specifically interpretation of the Bible, and how that affects the LGBT community. It's an amazing film. We're really excited to be bringing it to this week. So please stop by and see it if you can.
All Saints Episcopal Church is at the corner of Wilson and Hermitage.
Correct. That is correct.
In Chicago's North Side.
Yes, and then also during the week, on Wednesday, May 19th, LGBT Change will be hosting our very first community organizing meeting. We're very excited to be able to do that. It starts at 7 p.m. It is on DePaul's Lincoln Park campus in Monroe Hall at 2312 North Clinton Avenue. So we'll just be talking about what LGBT Change has done and what we're going to be doing and ways you can get involved. And we want to hear from the community on ways that we can connect with you and things that you'd like for us to tackle. So we're really excited about that meeting, and hopefully you can make it.
And just so there's no confusion, it's 2312 North Clifton. There's a separate Clinton Street, but yes, Clifton Avenue in Lincoln Park. On Thursday, we're very excited about the Flash Mob. At noon, at downtown at Federal Plaza. Please come out, and we're going to be near Federal Plaza at a federal building there. Look for the gay pride flags, the rainbow flags, and we're going to have some street theater and other events going on to push the federal government to bring full equality to the LGBT people, including employment non-discrimination, the end of Don't Ask, Don't Tell. There's many things that we could go on from there with, marriage, sex education, and such. But come out Thursday, May 20th, noon at it's basically Federal Plaza. So that's the middle of our week. There's still more events to come in this week, so get out your pens and your pencils to write this stuff down. And actually, before we... I'm going to put in a plug for the website where you can specifically get information on this week, and it is chicagomilkweek.wordpress.com. So if you aren't writing all this stuff down, you can check it out there. And Friday, there is an engagement reception for a couple that is going to make a commitment to themselves, a homosexual couple, on the south side at 1525 East 55th Street, Suite 312. There's a legal professionals networking event for LGBT folks in the legal profession. Do we know where that's at, Anthony?
Yeah, actually, it's at Sidetrack, and it's a joint event with the Lesbian and Gay Bar Association of Chicago and Lambda Legal, and LGBT Change. We're also going to be there. And it's basically just bringing legal professionals together around LGBT equality and trying to activate that community. So If you like lawyers, come on by, or if you are a legal professional, please stop by and mingle with everybody.
Yeah, and Sidetrack is on Halstead, just south of Roscoe. Queer Noise, also on Friday at 8 p.m., an open mic night for fun. It's going to be hosted by Carmen Esposito, 2557 North Milwaukee in Wicker Park. So we're trying to hit all of the neighborhoods. And we have a caller, so we're going to take a break from our week of events and speak with Father Bob. Hello, Bob Schwartz.
Hello.
Hello.
I'm aware of the fact that Barack Obama and other members of the Democratic Party leadership have made all kinds of promises to reel in gay votes. Now they haven't delivered on those promises, and I think it's time to make the Democrats pay for their failures. So how about it? Isn't it time to boycott the Democrats?
All right. Thank you, Bob, for your comments. There is as we talked about last month on this show, there is growing discontent within the LGBTQI community, as well as many other groups in this country, with the performance of the Democrats, and specifically the president, on our issues. On everything from marriage, which his Justice Department has defended the Defense of Marriage Act, to statements that they are going to end Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and then the opposite rumors happening within their own government. Mm-hmm. And the Democrats count on us for their vote for votes and for winning office. So perhaps it is time for a boycott.
I think definitely monetarily, until we see some movement on these issues. There was a blog attack back in, I guess it was late 2009 or early 2010, where they kind of started talking about boycotting the Democratic Party, specifically with monetary donations, and really trying to refocus the LGBT community on donating to openly gay candidates, as opposed to Democrats or Republicans, because we're seeing that it doesn't matter what party's in office. There's not a lot of traction. I mean, Barack Obama has done some things that have, I think, advanced our cause, but all in all, I wouldn't say that he's been the fierce advocate that he campaigned as. So, we really do have to make sure that we hold our leaders responsible for their campaign promises.
So please come out on Thursday, May 20th, to the flash mob that we talked about in Federal Plaza.
Absolutely.
As well as just get active in the community. There are lots of things going on that we don't talk about on this show, or that you don't see on a website, that you can get involved with to just be a more vital member of the community and make the world better for us. Saturday, there is a rally and march.
Yeah, it starts at 1 p.m. Meet at Michigan and Congress in the park there. And we're rallying to demand immediate progress towards full federal equality for all LGBT people. Not, in 2 years or in a year now, as we were told that would happen. So please come out. This is the actual Harvey Milk Day of Action. So there'll be thousands of people across the country rallying and marching. So this is a great way to make your voice heard and to show people that we are not going to wait anymore. So please come and join the Chicago contingent and show your solidarity with the rest of the week.
Okay. And thank you to our caller, Bob. And I just wanted to draw your attention to Gay Liberation Network's website, where you can get information on this week of action coming up next week, as well as many other events that are coming up over the next few weeks and months and in the future. GayLiberationNetwork.net. The first day of Harvey Milk Week is Monday, May 17th, and Gay Liberation Network in particular is organized behind drawing attention to the International Day Against Homophobia and the attacks on LGBT folk in Kenya, Malawi, and Uganda. Come learn something and show the rest of the people in Chicago what kinds of horrible things our brothers and sisters over there have going on in their lives.
Horrible things.
Our next meeting for Gay Liberation Network is at 7 o'clock Wednesday, June 2nd. It's always the first Wednesday of the month at 7 o'clock at the Burger Park Cultural Center, which is at Sheridan Road and Granville, just off the Granville stop on the Red Line. And we invite you to come out and get involved and get organized. Our next TV show is going to be here June 11th, Friday, 6:30 p.m. We encourage you to watch. Our guest this evening, Anthony Martinez of LGBT Change. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Again, just want to remind you that we are having our very first community meeting. It is Wednesday, May 19th at 7 p.m. DePaul Lincoln Park Campus, Monroe Hall. We encourage everybody to come out. This is a way for you to actually get active and actually start doing things. We're not a volunteer group that just raises money. We actually go out and do things on behalf of the LGBT community, and we are hoping that we can get as many people to help us with the actions that we have planned for the next few months. So we're really excited. We really would welcome anyone of any ideology, of any party, to come and work with us.
We've got a few minutes left here, and Anthony seemed particularly like our action drawing attention to Africa and just some of the things that are happening there. Is there's a couple in Malawi, a gay couple that made the effort to get married, I believe in another country, and then came back to their home country of Malawi and have been imprisoned, and they are facing trial. I think they've been through one trial, and they've been in jail for a couple of months. Just because their love is illegal in that country.
They're both I've heard are pretty sick now. One of them is critically ill, and of course they're not allowing them to get medical help. So that, it really is a tragedy that in 2010 we can see a couple be jailed just for expressing their love.
Yeah. Amnesty International has called them out as prisoners of conscience, hoping to raise some more international ire for the leaders there. Kenya, there have been attacks on street attacks on gays, as well as clinics for providing HIV services have been shut down during some of these riots that apparently were brought up over a rumor of a gay marriage happening, but that I'm not sure it actually happened.
No.
Do you know?
No, it was all a rumor, and I know there were a gay couple that had wanted to get engaged, but it wasn't part of these attacks, which were so tragic, and a lot of people were hurt. So,
and Uganda has similar situations with just very homophobic culture. They had a piece of legislation that was actually going to make it a capital offense, that you could be killed by the government for being a homosexual there. I believe that bill has been rescinded, but we thank you very much for tuning in this evening. We want you to go to the website chicagomilkweek.wordpress.com and get more information to get active in your community. Peace, love, and pride.